Hello, welcome back. Please let me know if there's any weirdness, if you can't hear me, if you can't hear the music, if you can't hear the players. Please let me know because I had to kind of redo everything and set up everything anew. So, hello. We are Story Reckless. I am Nathan. I use he, him pronouns, and I am the DM here. And we are playing Dungeons and Dragons. And we're playing the Descent into Avernus campaign. And we're pretty far into it. But if you are just joining us for the first time, because you see it says episode 1, we like to usually do kind of split things up into chapters. And so we're on a new chapter, hence the new episode. But yes, let's do some player intros.
I'm Claire. My pronouns are they, them. I am Cadell, a half-elf grave cleric, werebore, and minor celestial? Still figuring that last bit out.
Kids these days, they're pulling in all their labels. Celestial, werebore. Back in my day, you were just something from the PHB, and that was it. So tonight I'm playing Calliope, Air Genasi, Artificer.
Neither of which are the PHB.
None of these words are in the Bible, nor the PHB. And I have recently gotten a memorial tattoo of my homunculus. Little dummy, rest in peace. This is between the teeth of a big demon. And my pronouns are she, they. I'm Olive. Did I say that? I'm Olive.
You did now.
I'm Enyo. My pronouns are they, them, and I would have forgot to say my name had Olive not forgotten almost to say hers. And tonight I'm going to be playing Pip, an alchemist satyr, who's in a bit of a pickle.
Oh, yes, indeed. Okay, cool. Well, with that, I think we can do our intro here as I switch the mood. All right. So, last we left off. Well, really, this is us starting a new chapter, really, I guess. Anyways. Okay. We're going to open up on, once again, a cracked, barren, red landscape, and we're going to see this almost bowl-like pit, this crater in this landscape, surrounded by high plateaus and mesas of barren rock. And down somewhere in the center of it, there's shapes. There appear to be some bits of debris spread out from the center of this point, like almost an explosion has just gone off, and there are some massive vehicles that are kind of tucked away amongst the debris. And towards the center of all this, there is a small cluster of figures that are starting to move. As we get in close, we can see that one of these figures is currently pinned to the ground by thick bands of infernal iron, big chains holding them into the ground. Yeah, good thing you brought barbecue.
Sounds so nice right now.
Yeah. As well as this individual who's struggling against these chains down in the earth, there are a few other individuals. There's one kind of lithe-looking elven figure, very pale, with some armor on, who seems to be kind of pacing with concern. There's a small little fluttering elephant-like creature about the size of a small dog with golden wings and golden feather and fur that is also flitting about anxiously, looking around, uncertain of what to do. And a very big, strong-looking, tall tiefling woman in full plate armor with a massive greatsword, who honestly is kind of looking down at the struggling individual with sort of not like a slight smirk, but also some like eyebrows furrowed, but kind of like shaking head and eyes sort of closing. And we have two other individuals around this figure. Why don't we start with you, Kadam?
I am a stocky half elf, dark skin, shoulder length dreads, uh, deep brown eyes that are also silver when the light catches them right. And I have 4 great owl wings spreading out from my back, which I feel like I'm kind of trying to figure out how they're supposed to be at rest. All this is very new. And I'm holding a long sword by the hilt, but upside down. Like I'm like almost leaning on it a little bit. um, tip into the ground. I'm actually probably like squatting down next to the person in chains, looking concerned. Lots of bracelets, very shiny. Lots of silver and what's it called? Mithril armor.
Yeah, and next to them is Calliope, if you want to describe what you look like and what you're doing.
Yeah, so next to this, I forgot you had the owl wings. Wild. New development.
Very new.
Next to this strange mini creatured individual is Calliope, who is a very short, like gnomish air genasi. So like she has kind of like bluish gray skin, and kind of like a cloudy pattern over a lot of her body, like silver hair. She's old, and she's anxiously just like pacing back and forth, looking around for enemies. Her gait, though, you might notice is somewhat off, like she might have been usually accustomed to carrying like a heavy bag that is currently lying in pieces across the field. Her other casualty of the recent encounter, her steel defender, aka Big Dummy, and one of her pant legs also, like she's wearing pants on one side and then just like on the other side, like they've just been kind of like ripped and ragged, like they were bitten off perhaps by like a shark or something. However, like again, another contributing factor to her like walking like off kilter and like almost like losing her balance, she has a fresh shiny leg. It looks healthier, like the skin is like fresher and like slightly glowing compared to like the rest of her skin, which has been down here in Avernus for who knows how long, with kind of like lightning tattoos going spiraling up it, and a number of puppets of various iterations kind of like interweaved within it. A hand knitted sock puppet, a kind of like mechanical like wooden puppet contraption, and then the Sauron, essentially all miniature. And yeah, Calliope is currently like looking around for enemies to see if like something external might have caused this be-chained nature of her erstwhile companion.
Yeah, and speaking of which, lying there in the dirt, being slowly pressed down into the dirt by these thick chains is Pip, if you want to describe what you look like and what you're doing.
So Pip is kind of short, a little bit taller than Calliope, stocky and pear-shaped, with a sort of squarish jaw and a broad nose, tan olive skin, and heavy makeup. Normally she has the shrewd smile of a snake oil selling charlatan, but right now, I think she's realized and is just sort of sitting there, 1,000-yard stare, contemplating. Knows there's no point in struggling right now. There's a battered soul coin on mechanical spider legs that's whistling and skittering around the chains in panic. Yeah, because it's still he's still up. Gilder's still up.
That's
How have
right.
I gone through 3 homunculi and you're still on your first?
Well, because you use your homunculi for things other than flavor.
I know. Gilder did die once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
He
Gilder
did
is a
die.
soul coin. Yeah.
Soul coin now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
right.
two iterations.
Yeah, 2 iterations. You're on your if you end up figuring out a way to remake a homunculi, it'd be your 4th. But yeah.
Too soon. It's
Too
like
soon.
getting a pet right after the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
She's wearing thigh-high swashbuckler boots with a pistol tucked into the top. There's 2 brands on her neck, which you can't see right now, but I think one of them is glowing like really bright.
yeah, one of them is kind of visible with your hair, sort of fallen down around your shoulders into the dirt, and Kadam spotted it. And there is this brand at the back of your neck, which is the symbol of Zariel, a sword that is like, it looks like a fresh burned brand has appeared at the back of your neck. And then the other one is probably tucked up a little more, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Wasn't it like infernal for traitor or something? I
wrote it down somewhere.
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, my notes right now.
Yeah.
I'm also
where-
looking for my notes.
Yeah, you all have infernal brands that say something to the effect of,
It's something super cool.
yeah.
It is.
Saboteur.
Saboteur. That's right.
Saboteur.
Yours says Saboteur, yeah.
Yeah.
So, with all that, what are you all doing right now? I think we last left off with Kadam leaning down to talk to Pip, unless somebody else wants to jump in.
I think it was Pip offering to explain. Like, I can explain everything.
Okay, so we kind of get in close here with Kadam looking down at you. Yeah, go for it.
I guess there's really no putting this off anymore. Pip still isn't looking at anybody, just looking up. And finally turns to make eye contact with Kadam. Can you see it? I can feel there's something there.
Oh yeah, you got her holy symbol on the base of your neck now.
Right, her holy symbol. So I did not make a deal with Zariel directly. Let's just say that. I'll just get that off right off the bat.
You know,
that directly is doing a lot of work there.
I mean, I have her symbol, so clearly there was something involved. What am I going to just say? Oh, I don't know where that came from. I do know where it came from. What is his name? The male model. He's not a male model.
Gideon
Lightward. Yes, I talked to him. I wasn't sure what. I did not know.
You mean you talked to him in addition to the times that we were all talking with him?
Yes. Right. Transparency and specificity are important here. I did talk to him. And in exchange for helping me break a pact with Mad Maggie, and also getting the nightmare off of our backs while we tried to make our escape. I didn't know we were actually going to find Zariel's sword.
That's how you did it. I never asked. Wait, what? What did you promise, Pip? What was this agreement?
Well, the specifics are all kind of jumbled now. I should have asked for a copy of the contract, but I was really strapped for time. I said that I would give him Zariel's sword if I found it within a reasonable time frame. I thought we could just use the sword for whatever we needed, and then I could give it to Gideon.
Is he in your head too?
No. I don't think he is. Is Gideon in my head? Can I make a political
You
wisdom?
can, you can make a perception or an insight roll
Sure.
on
Opposed
yourself.
by your deception.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
And that's why, no, Gideon is not in your head.
I am clear on this.
You really only sense the presence of that familiar presence of Maggie and Gargouth.
And I assume part of the contract was you couldn't tell us about it. Or this would trigger?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Not quite. No.
Yeah.
I just figured it wouldn't really become necessary.
What did you...
It seems like the easiest thing to do at the point is to make promises that I think will never actually be cashed in.
But like when we're walking into the dam too.
Well, at that point, it seemed too late to mention it.
Okay, well, you did what you had to do to get the nightmare off our backs. We did need that at the time. What do we do about this now? Because, obviously, I guess, what does this being triggered now? Why did it do this?
I guess it... I mean, I'm assuming that it kind of felt my intention to not give it to Gideon without... Well, without your say-so, I'm not going to do it.
Well, that's something.
Do you want to...
Apparently, Gideon or this contract, that was enough to pull the escape clause and just pull the whole thing down.
I thought I looked it over too quickly, but I couldn't just leave it too long. Never rush a contract, no matter how unimportant it seems. What is the... Why can't we give it to Zariel? Lulu thinks... looking up at Lulu. Lulu thinks there's still a chance that could help Zariel.
Lulu's having a hard time keeping eye contact with you. And she kind of just looks down at the ground, fluttering there. I was... I don't know, I just thought maybe it'd be a way to... I don't know, somehow get her back. There's supposed to be a piece of her within the sword of who she used to be. And... I don't know.
Okay,
When I say it out loud, it sounds like... I mean, it sounds like a fairy tale. It doesn't... I've seen... I'm remembering how the world really is.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I vote for not handing the plane-renting artifact to the person who hates us most, just in the hope that it might change her mind. I'd like something a little bit more concrete than that. Okay, follow-up question. Pip, do you have any other of these things that are too awkward to have said? Because now seems like a good time.
I don't think any of the other deals I've ever made actually apply to you. You know about Mad Maggie?
What do I know about Mad Maggie? Just, you know, for completion, for thoroughness.
Oh, what's it gonna hurt now? I'm in chains already. I made a deal with Mad Maggie to escape from the Feywild. She'd get me out of there, on an exchange. I don't know, give her my soul or something. She gave me this neat little pistol, which she then updated after I talked to her when we saw her at Fort Knucklebone. And my stupidity got Valor killed. Figured it was time for an upgrade. What better way to do it than to bring it back to the manufacturer? So she owes, so technically, I think she's going to have to fight for Zariel for my soul now.
Well, did you also promise your soul to Gideon? Or are you not sure about that because you didn't read the contract?
No, I'd read the contract. Yes, I promised him my soul. I figured they can fight over it.
All right, well, that might work in our favor then. But that's only when you die.
That is only when I die.
Let's keep you alive a little bit longer then.
I appreciate it. So there are two things I can think of. If you don't want to try just immediately severing the chains with the sword, just on the off chance it works.
I mean,
No, actually, I don't think I do.
Worth the try.
Anything else? Nothing with Gorgalf? You didn't, like, sneak away and, I don't know, have tea with Archon?
Archon, Mordenkainen, perhaps?
I should have with Mordenkainen.
Honestly, yeah. Like, as we're listening to these, it seems like you had a lot of opportunities.
Not that many. I had a lot on my mind. It gets crowded with three people, with three entities in your head.
Oh yeah, Gorgalf too.
Yes, Gargath's in there.
What three are these again? Just again for completion's sake, because I think I know about two.
Well, there's Mad Maggie. She's the original, and then there's Gargauth. I think Gargauth should count for more because he gets very different depending on how he feels. There's the Orb of Dragonkind, whatever sort of dragon spirit is in there, talking to me. Only very occasionally.
All right.
Mad Maggie's in your head?
Yeah, I'm
that's a new
intrigued by
one.
that.
I knew about the other two.
Yes, that's she. You have an awful lot of questions here.
Well, you can't run away right now, Pip.
Do you have somewhere else to be?
I'd kind of like to be almost anywhere else.
Interesting.
Strange. Whew. Well. She enjoys pain. And I figured we're going to see a lot of pain here. Of course we are. So she gets to piggyback in my consciousness and gets to watch all of the painful things that I see and feel the pain that is inflicted upon me and that I inflict upon others.
That you inflict upon others.
Pip, you feel right now that presence is right there, and you are feeling that strong, conflicting, like burbling of emotions that are like not your own, that are kind of like whatever you're feeling right now. There's these other emotions that keep pushing their way in, of like that satisfaction and glee to this situation you find yourself in.
Pip just starts laughing, like a mad witch cackle laughing. She's been here the whole time. Well, not the whole time, since Fort Knucklebone. I inflict pain on others just with my very presence. I don't do it on... Well, I do it on purpose sometimes, but only because it's funny.
So
Never
she knows
seriously.
Everything that you know since Fort Knucklebone?
I could only really start telling that her presence was there since... Actually, yeah, I guess it has been a while. But I've only known for sure.
Oh my god. I bet she's loving this.
She has no interest in our plans.
Oh,
She'll-
yeah? Do you think she knows somebody that does? Maybe? And what might that be worth to them?
She is a Zariel, a big fan of Zariel. I guess that is true.
Interesting.
But I don't think she wants Zariel to have the sword. Mags, do you want Zariel to have the sword? No response? Is there any...
Unbelievable.
How is it unbelievable?
You don't get a verbal response in your head.
Mhm.
You kind of get a rapid fire succession of emotions of like when you ask, do you want Zariel to have the sword, of like a kind of a quick little jolt of surprise and a little bit of fear, and then as the silence kind of lingers for a bit, it kind of you kind of feel this like deviousness sort of like burbling within you.
Maybe that's not something I should have actually brought up, now that I think about it.
So, we were kind of relying on like the element of surprise or like to get some time here. But now, Mad Maggie knows, which means who the hell else knows? Anybody could. In all of Avernus, because it was too awkward for you to tell us that you were walking infosec hazard.
Yes, that about sums it up.
I need to confer with my colleague. Please hold. Hey, Q. Can we talk?
Yes.
And I think we'll be like, those big wings you got. I haven't gotten used to them yet.
Nor have I.
Okay. What are we doing? You got any insights? Celestial, perhaps? Is that sword speaking to you, maybe?
Not as such. It has emotions of its own, and I'm getting bits and pieces of it. But right now, the overwhelming feeling that I have is one of great anger.
All right.
I do not know. I do not know a great many things. I feel that Pip has been pouring out our feelings to Maggie without our permission.
I guess that's true too.
Those are mine. No one else's.
All right. Yeah. Okay, I'm awful at this sort of stuff. I have no idea what to do with somebody who I thought was my friend and turned and stabbed me in the back. Apparently. I'm talking about Glim as well there.
Well, you have options.
Mm-hmm.
You are in control of your own actions. That's it.
And big and little dummies too, some part, but because apparently those are souls too.
Yeah, but
Yes,
they ain't
okay.
here right now.
Yep, that's true. Oh my god. Cute, what are we doing? Got the damn thing, because it seemed important, but what? We just go back to El Terrell and cut the chains? Sorry, I'm fixated on that still. I know you're mad at this Pip thing.
That's what you're here to do, Calliope.
Yeah, that's what I'm here to do.
And it is possible that what is his name? Gorglak.
Which one?
The very tall naked man.
Oh, yes.
Uldrock. There we go. It is possible that Uldrock did that.
Yeah, I guess it's possible. I'm not gonna put my money on it, but I'm glad he tried.
I think what you and I need to decide, probably with the others as well, is whether or not we are going to continue to bring Pip along with us.
I said a long time ago that Pip was a weapon, a tool, and I apologized for it. And I felt we'd grown together as a team or something since then, but that's all my brain can see her as right now. She is an incredibly proficient artificer, has helped us out in battle more times than I can count, and we're gonna need help.
The question is, will she actually help more than she hurts?
Yeah. See, I admire you. You're thinking about things about consent and feelings and stuff. What I'm thinking about is blindfolding that girl and throwing her in the back of a dark box and just wheeling her out whenever we need to fight somebody.
I see the appeal. And that is not how we're going to treat her regardless.
Okay. I'm also curious to see if that sword can cut chains, these infernal chains, just, as a proof of concept. I mean, I don't even want to, I don't know what the next steps might be. But it would be nice to know that. And if we can't do that, then there's not much we can do, right? And so what we want to do with Pip is a little bit moot.
Well, I think we have more than one option if we want to get Pip out. Frankly, I would be interested in waiting around a bit and seeing who comes.
What if who comes is Zariel's fortress?
Well, then we run like hell.
Mm-hmm. I guess we did outrun it before.
Pip outran it before, and I do have...
Pip outran it. I wasn't there.
Yeah, or Pip told us she outran.
There we go. That's the one.
In the chains, Pip is rattling like, I did outrun it. I wasn't lying.
Hold on, what level spell is that? I could word to recall us if Zariel arrives.
What, back to the machine over there?
Yeah, so we would actually have, a chance of getting away.
I mean, it's right there. We could just walk to it.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
I mean, I guess we could drive it far away, come back, walk, and then hang out. Also, didn't go great the first time. so I'm not like super hot on it.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't know what happened there.
Showing back up in Bell's auditorium. I mean, to be fair, we've also made a deal with the devil at this point with like an
You
ongoing thing.
have.
Okay, I have.
It was also relatively straightforward and quickly fulfilled.
I mean, we still got to go do the damn. I'll do the thing. Don't you worry about it. You can help us get up El Terrell. I'm not gonna expect anything past you from that. That's what I'm in here for.
We'll see, Calliope. I don't trust you down here alone.
Okay, well, I won't say no. But honestly, the thing that Pip has done with Blue Steel over there, like, isn't that different from the deal I made with Bell? Like, lower stakes, more straightforward, and everybody knows about it. Those are important differences.
I'm not particularly upset about the one with Gideon. I think it was stupid of Pip, but I don't think it was... It don't hurt me personally.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I guess that's true. And the thing that I care about, which is El Terrell, is also mostly affected by this Mad Maggie in her head situation. Hey, Pip, we've decided which one to be mad at you about. Okay.
Oh, you're not mad at me for them both? That's good news. I just assumed that you would just leave me here in the chains forever. But no,
That's not on the
Kadam's too good
table.
for that. No, it's not. I know Kadam's too good for it. Even though they look very angry now that I look at them. Wow. It looks very good on you, actually, you know? What with... That sword really did its job.
Hey, do you know
I'm not
what's
making
gonna
it
happen to
easier,
you?
am I? Yeah.
Are you just gonna hang out here? If we did leave, hypothetically, they'd come pick you up, right?
Sariel?
No. Gideon.
Gideon, I suppose.
Okay, you don't know.
I don't know what...
Well, I'm getting. Great, okay. Well, I need some time, regardless, to fix Big Dummy back up. I don't really want to get going nowhere. I think it would take about an hour, at least. God,
What?
they're wrecked. Really
They
did
are.
remember on it.
I'm happy to hang out for that hour. I might do a little bit of thinking and feeling of my own.
Okay.
You all right with me checking in with the others?
Yeah. Let's take a minute. A lot just happened.
Yes.
Not in immediate danger.
Yeah.
Unless we wanted to go hunting that big hill guy. We could probably catch it still.
It might not be a bad thing that it's running around right now, you know?
Oh, yeah! It's just another old rock.
Exactly.
Great. Fantastic. Okay.
All right.
Oh. I'm going to go over to Big Dummy, who I realize is also my bag of holding.
Mm-hmm.
And so all my stuff, such as my smith's tools, is in some pocket among the rubble and destruction over there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like I'm not gonna have the bag of holding have been destroyed from that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably there's probably pieces of old Big Dummy connected to it that you have to kind of pull apart and get to the actual bag portion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I am going to expend a first level spell slot and start spending an hour to start repair my Steel Defender.
Yeah, you can start that process as Calliope starts gathering material and going off to the side to slowly reassemble. Actually, quickly, really. But still.
It's like an hour? Really?
Yeah.
Not even a long
Not that long.
Wild.
I spent freaking 5 hours on my damn sink yesterday, and that was just a couple of pipes, so yeah. Anyways, so yeah, you you start the process of reassembling Big Dummy. Pip, you are still being pressed into the earth by the chains, unable to move. Kadam, you said you wanted to do something in this hour?
I want to take the other three aside.
Okay.
What are you three thinking and feeling right now? About the sword and Pip.
Valor kind of sees a big, like, chunk of rubble and just plops down on the ground and leans against it, sword at her side, looking up at you. I'm a little bit pissed at Pip going behind our back for specifically promising that to Gideon. The arrangement with Mad Maggie, that one doesn't bother me as much. It, whatever, if the bitch wants to look in on what we're doing, it doesn't bother me that much, but it's just kind of weird. I don't fully understand it. Is she, like, seeing through Pip's eyes? I don't really get it. And if she's doing that, then I don't know. That's just like, there's some weird, creepy people out there that like to do that, and I don't like it. I would prefer someone not do that, but I don't think it's hurting me. I guess if she's getting information from us, that also feels bad, and I'm pretty disappointed. I'm definitely feeling a lot of disappointment. I like Pip. But now I don't know if I guess if I read them right. Or maybe I did and I pretended not to. Yonder is just kind of looking down, rubbing his hands together, and just slowly says, honestly, I don't really know all of you that well.
That's very true.
I am concerned that with Pip being dragged down like that we might have company sooner than we'd like. I'm worried that worst case, she's coming. In best case, it's... Did I hear the name Gideon?
Yeah, same Gideon Lightward as you knew, I imagine.
So he's fallen in with her.
Yeah.
I don't know who's this. I've heard the name Mad Maggie.
She's a hag.
That could go badly for us. I could see a hag using this information to get something bigger for themselves, going straight to Zariel. But it really depends on the hag. So again, I'm just concerned that we've been greatly compromised by your friend's arrangements.
Yes.
Lulu flutters down and perches atop the piece of rubble that Valor's leaning against to kind of be eye level with you. I don't know. I'm really disappointed and really upset with Pip right now. And I don't know. I think I need more time to think about all this. And, she looks at the sword in your hand. I know the story that I've been saying and what I've been told about this piece of her being in that sword. It's like a fairy tale, but there is... I know there's powerful magic out there. There's things that sometimes can be only seen as, I guess, a miracle. And I know these things happen. We've all experienced them. So I can't help but continue to think about that and think about my friend and wanting to at least try. But I don't know what that looks like. I
Do you want to go talk to her?
I think at some point I need to. It doesn't have to be right away, and I wouldn't expect any of you to come with me unless you wanted to. But I think once El Terrell is saved, I need to go talk to her. I need to go see her. I remember now the last time I saw her. That awful man, Mahati. He took my memories from me. I remember now. He threw something in my face, some kind of liquid, and that's when I forgot everything. And then I remember being brought before Zariel to be given to her as a gift. It's more like emotions and images. I don't remember what was said, but I just remember seeing the look on her face. And she just discarded me. She didn't want me to be there. I think she couldn't stand the sight of me. And I need to go see her. At some point, I need to see her and I need to talk to her. So, when this is all done, with or without you, I'm gonna go find her.
All right.
I need to think on Pip, though. I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
I need a little time.
I take her face in my hands and just kiss her on the forehead.
She'll nuzzle up into your kind of chest and shoulders.
I love you, Lulu. I'm so very glad that you are here. And I'm so very glad to have known you however this works out.
Yeah, same. All right. Time starts to pass. anybody else wish to do something? Otherwise, the time ticks by as Calliope frantically works at building up Big Dummy.
Strapping it together with fantasy duct tape.
Yeah. As that kind of flurry of work is going on and the sound of metal being ratcheted together and clanking, Kadam, I'm not sure what you're doing in this moment, whether you're taking some time to rest.
I genuinely think that I'm lying face, like on my stomach, face down on the ground, just staring off into the middle distance.
So, like, head to the side like that?
Yep.
Okay. Pip, as you also lie face down on the ground, for a very different reason, and the time passes, and it is not comfortable in the slightest. Probably like a little more than halfway into this first hour, you hear the little soft fluttering of wings, and then the small little feet of Lulu alighting onto the ground right into your field of view. She kind of looks at you, eyes still a little glistening and wet, and she takes a seat, just sort of sits down, you know, like a dog, kind of little plops down and looks at you. Hi, Pip.
Hello, Lulu. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. I didn't want to get any of you involved in this.
Can you just tell me why?
There was an immediate danger, and I could not think past that. Anything after that, those are all problems for future Pip, and for whoever is near future Pip, and quite frankly, I did not think that we would all still be together.
Why not?
This is sort of the longest that anybody's ever willingly been around me. I really thought that we would have split ways at some point earlier. I guess I didn't really have enough faith in either of us.
I had faith in you.
You're so pure, Lulu. You're so good. And I should have killed my Hati. I should have just taken his fucking head when I had the chance instead of just making a wax sculpture.
Huh. Well, we didn't know. I mean, we knew. He didn't seem to be the greatest person, but...
Well, you don't actually need me anymore. You can just leave me. Just go do the things that you need to do. If you want to see Zario later, I'll put in a good word for you.
Yeah. That would... Do you want to be left behind?
I don't know what I want anymore. What's the point? No. I don't want to. No, if I get left behind, I'm going to figure something out. I'll figure something out. I always do.
She kind of raises an eyebrow and looks at the chains. Looks at you. Always?
They haven't picked me up yet. They haven't collected me. I've been in chains before. never one's quite this. These chains are really tight. Would you mind? If you don't want to touch me right now, I understand. Kadam looks like they might actually throttle me if they come close, and I've never seen that before. But could you just scratch my neck a little bit, please? It stitches so much.
Yeah, I can do that for you. She'll reach her little trunk over and kind of rub the area that you've jerked towards.
Oh, thank you. This brand.
Yeah. And what about why Mad Maggie? Why did you let her in like that?
I was sick of being useless. I guess it didn't help for very long anyway.
You thought you were useless?
Just standing by and watching Valor get destroyed by a bunch of fucking numpties. What were they? Madcaps?
Oh, yeah, those things were, I don't know.
Somebody like Valor having that kind of end? No, that's not something I'm going to stand for. Not if I can help it. And, turns out, we always have options. Sometimes they're really, really bad options. And anybody with more impulse control than me can see that, but here we are. My best option now is to figure out what Zariel likes and seduce her.
Oh.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, good luck with that one. I just, Pip, you do have options, and there's a lot of them all around you that have been showing you support and being there for you. You don't have to be afraid to ask us for help. I think before all of this, what just happened now, any of us would have helped you in a heartbeat. I can't speak for the rest, but as I was saying earlier, I think people deserve second chances.
Lulu, this is far from my second chance.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way.
But I appreciate the sentiment.
Well, look, if I'm not the one to make the decision, if you really want to just be left here, I'm sure everyone will oblige. But
no, I don't.
Okay.
But I feel like that's the right thing to do here.
I don't know. It just feels like the thing that this place makes us do. It feels like the thing that is natural to hear. Just everyone wallowing in their pain and being punished all the time. And just feeding into their worst selves.
Do you think that's what happened to Zariel?
I think there's been a part of her. The Zariel that we see now, I think that's always been in her. And she was surrounded by people that just enabled it to come out. But I know there's another part of her in there.
And you think there's part of her that's still in the sword?
I don't know.
No, now is the time. Now is the time to come up with all these intuitions.
Yeah.
You say there's part of her in there, and you're the person who's closest to her, or who was closest to her. So I'm going to believe that.
I think that it might have the power to truly show her who she could be, who she used to be. Show her a different path. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a magic wand that's gonna solve all our problems. And that's why I think I need to go see her after you all solve your problems.
I think that's a good idea, Lulu.
I have
I
to.
also-
I have to try.
You do. This is clearly something very important for you. How long were you without your memories again?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't know, would you?
It's there's definitely a lot. There's a long period of fog, of feeling and emotion and images. I didn't get even a semblance of my old self back until that condition was removed from me. I mean, you experienced just a short period of it.
Right. Well, it was mostly... Do you reckon Zariel's immune to the effects of Styx river water?
Probably. I think a lot of the denizens that live down here are immune.
Well, worth a thought.
Yeah. All right, well. I'm gonna go take some more time for myself.
I appreciate you, Lulu. You deserve better than what you've been given.
I do. Do you need anything else?
Yeah, just a little scratch again, please.
Yeah,
It's just itching.
okay.
I mean,
She'll give you one more little scratch and then flutter off.
I think Pip is this entire time having Gilder kind of rummage through her boots trying to find the contract.
Okay. Yeah. Gilder goes slipping into the boots, and yeah. Did you keep a copy? I'm trying to remember.
I did keep a copy.
Okay,
I
yeah.
found it in my notes.
Okay, so yeah, Gilder eventually slowly slips out this like long scroll that's tucked into your boots, somewhere deep in the bag of holding, and kind of drags it across the ground in front of you.
Yes, unfold it. In front of my face, please.
Gilder will slowly unfold it, and it is the most awkward reading experience you've probably ever have had. What are you looking for?
Looking for mentions of Zariel.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation with disadvantage.
Fair enough. Okay.
14's not bad.
Yeah, but it can be worse.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, damn
14's
it. 14.
Mentions of Zariel. Yeah, I mean, there's pieces in the contract that state you can either bring upon coming in contact with the sword, you need to bring the sword to either Gideon or Zariel by the most efficient means possible, yada yada. Yeah, It's obviously written more like an actual legal contract, but essentially that seems to be the one clear piece of information that you can find that mentions Zariel.
Okay.
With a 14, I think you're having a hard time getting much more because it's very slow going, as it's just like, it's like, you know, you're like angled, having to look down as Gilder slowly like
pulling
pulls it up or down or whatever you like, so you can kind of try to read it at this weird angle. It's definitely like hurting your eyes to look at it. But yeah, that's like the most clear piece of information you're able to find in regards to Zariel. And that honestly probably takes like the remainder of the time that's kind of left here as Calliope is finishing up. Calliope, as you come to the end of the hour, what are we seeing here?
Big Dummy has some changes. I think I've also salvaged some other like armor from like the battlefield. That is kind of like we're sitting in the remnants of. And this is less like a chicken walker and more like a short knight with like heavy kind of like pointed armor in the front. It doesn't have any of the grace of Big Dummy V 1.0. The entire tail, this like elegant kind of like stabbing, piercing weapon. I mean, that was the thing that took the brunt of the hit, and I think was just totally crushed. And Calliope has rigged it up into just kind of like a side arm mounted thing, and it can like punch forward at like different angles. But it has, again, like none of the grace. And I think kind of like climbing up into it, it really looks more like, I mean, it's just like a kind of like cylindrical with a point at the front and like two legs coming straight down with like a big lance coming off like the side of it.
Nice.
Like a very short man with whose torso has been like cut off halfway up but still has like low arms.
Cool.
Yeah, and I think like her shield is mounted like on the other side or where like the other arm would be.
And what about if Big Dummy uses the blast, the like radiant light blast? Like, where do you imagine that comes from? Because Big Dummy, it was like the little kind of
there's kind
head.
of like a swiveling head that could like open up.
Yeah.
I think it might just like face plant into people. It's just like runs in, just like a ram attack.
Okay.
And like
is
maybe
there any opening where
I think there's
energy,
like I think there's like a pile driver sort of situation. So it's like if I like run up into something, like Calliope can like pull like a small lever, or I guess Big Dummy can do it naturally. That kind of like releases like this like spring loaded like additional impact. So it's kind of like having it's just like a jackhammer kind of.
Okay, cool.
So it's like the energy
at the front,
not like like it doesn't like directly like blast it with energy. It's a lot more like physical.
Cool. I like to imagine if you're into this, that like as it fires out, kind of like the seam around where that pile driver shoots out, there's sort of a burst of light that sort of like it's not causing damage, but it's like the power source, right? It's like activating, so it's like so there's a little bit of light kind of leaking through like the seams of this mech.
Oh yeah. That sounds
cool.
Sick as heck.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think really the original design was like Calliope's pet project that she had been working on for like a decade.
Cool. Okay.
Of just like constantly tinkering and like making it perfect. And this is really like, okay, I have an hour, pieces of a whole bunch of things. This is just like battle testing. What's gonna work? Cool. I know so much more now than I used to.
Yeah.
I can make this like a masterpiece, but does not look good. It's a short, strapped together scrap knight.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, with that, as everything finally comes into its final form and it sort of stands up and Big Dummy sort of lifts the lance a few times, kind of looking at it as it kind of. Then the front piece, that little pile driver piece, sort of goes. And Big Dummy slowly turns to face you.
I think, hey, new body, new name. How you feel about that, huh? I feel a little bit ridiculous talking to what I thought was an inanimate object until like a day ago. But if there's anyone in there, how do you feel about Big Dummy? It feels a little awkward now in a retrospect.
The Big Dummy kind of tilts, like doesn't really have a head, right? So the whole thing kind of like tilts to look down at you, and then slowly goes down onto one knee to get even lower, like again eye level with you, like I guess where the pile driver is. And I think just gently rests the lance on your shoulder, kind of like almost like a, you know, like a knighting type of motion, but just like rests it on your shoulder. So interpret that as you will.
Oh, okay. Scrap Knight, Sir Scrap Knight. No, you're more than your body. I know, I've seen the beauty of your core. Not this crude matter. Jennifer.
Sir Dummy.
Sir Dummy.
Yeah, I think there's a little pulse of light at that.
Sir Dummy. I like that. I thought we were gonna swap out like the dummy part, but great, awesome.
And Sir Dummy stands up proudly. There, ready to go. Kadam, as this little exchange happens, are you still lying flat on the ground?
Spiritually, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm keeping an ear out for anything approaching, whether that be on the ground or in the air.
Sure. Make a perception.
Open for it.
Perception roll, please.
All right. Is it? Is it just smell with advantage?
Yeah, just smell for advantage, correct.
All right. 18.
18. Yeah, I mean, so you're sitting here. You can definitely hear.
Oh, lying.
Lying. Okay, so you're still lying there on the ground. You hear the work starting to wrap up with Calliope, and I think you kind of catch the end of that conversation that Calliope's having with now Sir Dummy. And then you feel a very slight vibration in the ground. And as you kind of perk up and look around,
I like listen. I put my ear fully to the ground. Yeah,
sure.
What's going on?
You push your ear into the ground. You can hear faintly, but getting louder, a low rumble that at this point I think you can put two and two together. It sounds like multiple infernal war machines are coming from a direction you're not. With an 18, you can't tell from what direction, but it sounds like multiple machines traveling.
Do I see?
Yeah, you kind of sit up and look, and as you look around, you can see far off at the edge of the bowl of this kind of piece of landscape that you sit in. It's kind of like this big crater-like bowl. And far off at the edge, at the top, kind of starting to poke out from one of these like slot canyons where all these like mesas surround this area, you're seeing dust billowing up.
And I take advantage of that dust and fly low and fast and try and use the dust as coverage to see if I can't not be seen by them but see them.
So they are probably, I'm gonna say like a quarter mile away, like up at the top of the ridge. And the dust, like, I say you're just starting to see the shape of a large vehicle, and the dust is billowing out behind them. Right?
Oh, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
You were more than welcome if you want to fly low to the ground and, like, I don't know, just stay low to be less of a clear target silhouetted against the sky. You could try that, and maybe try to, like, dart between boulders or things like that.
I'll alert the others.
Okay.
Company's here. Do we want to see who they are, or just wait for them to come?
I would like to know where we stand. Can we get Pip out of this? Do you feel inclined to test that sword on the chains? I realize you might want to have Pip suffer some sort of consequence here. Doesn't have to be specifically this one.
I do not want to leave, Pip.
Why don't you want to use the sword?
Because, Pip, I genuinely think it might be good for you to carry through with at least some of this. And I know that ain't that might not necessarily be kind. No, it ain't nice, but I think it is kind.
But are you going to just stay here then? I can suffer consequences, but
I'm not inclined to, honestly.
well, yes, why?
It's like a Gideon or something. They show up and they're just gonna try and take the sword from us. Then we kill
You
them
think
all.
Gideon could?
Nah.
No, I don't think so.
But like, I mean, they wouldn't show up unless they thought they had a chance of like getting the sword in some way, or slowing us down enough that somebody else can come and get us afterwards.
Based off of what I remember of Gideon, do I have a sense as to whether he believed or even like thought possible that we get the sword as ourselves, like without either a large power increase or a great deal of help? Do I have enough information of him to get a sense as to whether he believed that Pip would actually have a chance of succeeding?
He didn't ever ask you all to get the sword, did he? It was just Pip?
He was present for our conversation about us going to go get the sword.
Okay.
I don't remember if he asked us for it or not.
I'm not sure if you'd be able to pick up on that. Like, I think if you specifically were Pip, maybe I'd let you make like some kind of roll for that.
Mm-hmm.
But you weren't there for that conversation, so
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you have the information you have. Yeah. What are you all doing though? Because now that Kadama's pointed this out, you see indeed these vehicles starting to spill out of this slot canyon. Which, on that note, like your vehicles, I don't think you moved them, right? So they're probably like at least a couple 100 feet away, like where you parked them at the base of the scab, if you're like kind of in the middle.
Hey, Valor, yonder. Go get those started up, just in case, while we hash this out.
Yes, on it. And they both start to sprint towards those vehicles as the ones up on the hill start to turn and they start to come down the bowl in the direction of all of you.
Do we know who's in those vehicles?
No.
I'm assuming either somebody to do with Gideon or Mad Maggie, probably Gideon, aka Zariel.
I hope Gideon's in there.
Would have been quick time.
It would.
My guess is more likely some sort of asset that they already had nearby
That's probable.
that they've
All right.
activated.
May I go see?
Okay, fine. Don't get killed.
I don't think I will.
Okay.
I don't think it's time for that yet. And I'm gonna take off.
Okay. Do you imagine that your wings actually like flap to propel
Oh
you through?
yeah, I am flying like an owl, but with four
With
wings.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know if this was like, because I think there's precedent for some creatures in this world where they kind of just fly, like the wings maybe almost act as like stabilizers or something, but they're not actually like doing the propulsion. Okay, great.
I am imagining
Yeah,
Kadam's does not have hollow bones.
yeah.
Is not necessarily designed to fly, so these wings are freaking enormous.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you turn, they unfurl and just push down, and Kadam, you feel yourself jolt upwards with great speed and force, and a bunch of dust is kicked up all around your companions. Sorry, Pip. As you go flying out towards the vehicles. And are you trying to stay low and not seen, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth roll for me.
Alright.
You don't make those at disadvantage, right, because of the mithril?
Correct.
And
It's a straight roll.
Great. I will, regardless, I was gonna say, because you're flying, I was gonna not give you that penalty, but yeah, go ahead, straight roll.
19.
Okay, nice. Let me check something. 19. Okay. Okay. Okay, great. So you fly low to the ground, quick. You are moving fast. Not quite as fast as the war machines, but like this is feels pretty damn close, and honestly probably feels faster because you're like smaller and it's like just you and your body doing this propulsion. Yeah, how close do you want to get?
I want to see if I can see anyone on top of the vehicles and if I can see anyone inside.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception roll as you go skirting past this group of vehicles that are moving with speed towards the group.
13.
13. Okay. So what you see is one large vehicle, not quite as big as the Demon Grinder. This one, the design looks a little different than what you've seen before. It's kind of arrowhead shaped, and it kind of curves up like a shell, and it seems to have one large wheel at the front that's kind of digging into the ground, and then two larger ones at the back, so kind of a three-wheeled vehicle that's just barreling down this hill. And towards the back, you can see this kind of articulated crane-like appendage that's sort of just dangling there at the back, and there does seem to be an individual that's crewing it, that's kind of tucked into a little like cockpit like contraption at the back. The vehicle itself is very heavily armored, so you cannot see the driver. There are multiple slots within it that look like kind of portholes that are very like narrow. And this vehicle's armor is the material looks different than the material that's used on the other war machines. You're not totally certain what's going on there, but it looks like it has a different type of material being used for the armor of the vehicle. There are two, much like the other, like like Persistence and the Demon Grinder, there are two like almost turret-like sections that are on either side, where you can see there are the big bolt flingers that are being manned by some humanoids. You got a 13. I'd say with a 13, you would need to get closer, and you'd have to make another stealth check if you want to get better idea of what type of creatures are on these vehicles. There are 3 other vehicles that are kind of starting to go out ahead of this main big one, and all 3 of them look to be those smaller 2-wheeled like
the really cool ones,
little motorcycle like vehicles that are just speeding out ahead, and you can see that again you can't quite tell who these what type of creatures these are, but there's humanoids riding within the kind of armored cockpits of these motorcycle like vehicles that are starting to kick out in front, and 2 of them look like they have some sort of nozzle like device affixed to the front that's like sticking out that looks like it could probably be activated by the driver, you're assuming, because you don't see any other crew members on the vehicles.
Okay.
But they're all starting to go accelerate with speed towards the group. I'd say at this point they're probably halfway to your companions and picking up speed. Calliope, you at this point hear the rumble and ignition and start of the 2 of Persistence and the Demon Grinder as they kick up, and you start to see them come towards your group to regroup. Kadam, are you keeping your distance and following?
I want to communicate with the group. Can I be faster than the motorcycles?
They are
no,
faster.
all right.
They are all faster than you actually. So you kind of like.
So am I stuck behind them now?
Yeah, I think essentially you kind of flew up to meet them, started to get a decent look as to what was going on, and then quickly realized as you tried to like bank and keep up with them, oh, they're starting to outpace you.
Ouch. Okay.
And keep in mind, like, the vehicles can technically, they can move, dash, and then I think bonus action dash. So, like, they are very quickly starting to outpace you.
I would like
to
notice the contract in the dust next to Pip. I would like to try to do some speed reading, because selling your soul is like one thing on death. What is this chain business? And I want to see if the contract is like,
Hey, what's that? Is that the contract? Give me it.
I'm gonna do some quick scanning.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you can like, Pip doesn't really have a way to stop you, and Gilder's really small. So
No, take it, please.
take it. So you pull it up. Go ahead and make investigation for me. Also, am I in the right witch dice?
I believe you are.
Okay.
That's 19.
Shoot, I did not see the roll pop up. Okay, we'll fix this after the stream. I guess I'm not in the right room. I had to reset up my thing. Anyways, so you got a 19. Okay. And you're looking for specifically.
What's this chain business? Does it like last forever? Like, da da da.
Yeah. Yeah. With a
Presumably, they're not
19
gonna show up and
Yeah.
just like leave Pip there.
Okay, so you have to go like way towards the end of the contract and are trying to quickly speed through all of this like very complicated language, but maybe you have some experience with this, like working in the field that you were working in. You see a segment towards the end that starts to describe that essentially the deal that Pip made, there was a kind of the kind of magic that's being used here in this contract is able to essentially detect intent. And there was a clear moment that must have happened where Pip's intent switched to not deciding not to actually give the sword to the I guess the like rightful owner of this contract and like who was supposed to receive the asset. And if that were to happen, that they would be restrained by and you can clearly see by these infernal chains. There is some detailing in there that you're able to actually make an Arcana check for me.
Ooh, I would love to make an Arcana check, maybe.
As you're trying to like decipher
live
through.
to make Arcana checks.
Yes.
This is gonna go incredibly. Yeah, 30.
30. Yeah. Okay. You quickly like deciphering the language, you realize that this is essentially a version of Force Cage, the spell. So it basically for Pip to be able to get out of there is going to be incredibly challenging. This spell cannot be dispelled by magic. It severely suppresses any attempts to use magic to escape via teleportation or Misty Step, anything like that. It is an incredibly powerful spell that is meant to keep you in one spot until whoever cast it decides that you are free to go. Trying to see what else you would have gotten from this. I think you would have also gotten a brief little bit about had Pip actually placed hands on the sword with intent to bring back to either Gideon or Zariel, that she would have been granted boons to get her there quickly and safely. The other thing that you see is that upon deciding not to bring the sword to either Zariel or Gideon, that a Find the Path spell, or essentially the equivalent of that, would have been cast on Gideon that would have taken Gideon directly to Pip. It would have led Gideon directly to Pip in the shortest and quickest and most efficient means possible.
If she had decided.
No. If she had said basically what happened here.
Okay,
if she had said no, if her intent was, I will not bring the sword to you, this spell would essentially be made effective, and suddenly Gideon would know where Pip was.
Yeah. And Force Cage lasts how long? Do I know?
Well, so again, this is kind of a version of Force Cage.
Okay.
This one would last until either Gideon or Zariel were to dispel it, to release it. It doesn't mean that it can't be broken.
Yeah.
But it's.
Hey, Pip, have you tried just like teleporting out here?
Yes, of course I tried teleporting out.
Do that.
Yes.
Do that vortex warp thing.
Oh my god, I did it earlier, but I'll do it again.
Did you try teleporting out? I don't remember you trying to teleport. You just resisted being grabbed by it, if I remember.
Okay, well I'll try it. Sure.
I
guess I just assumed it wouldn't work. Okay, fine.
I would like to first enhance ability. Does that help with saving throws?
Just ability checks. Bless will give you a boost to saving throws, and that
that's
might
like
be it.
And attack rolls.
Yeah. Hero's Feast technically gives you advantage on whiz saves, but not charisma. So
Yeah, well, nothing I can do.
yeah.
Then-
So Pip, if you are gonna try to use magic to teleport out of the chains, you do need to make a charisma save.
All right, I'll do it. Wow. What do you mean virtual tabletop not found? Oh my God, I closed it. Yeah. Okay. Here, let me.
Have you tried simply leaving?
I mean, I did. I think I just didn't want to make it everybody's whole deal. 16.
16. What magic are you trying to use to escape?
A vortex warp, a teleportation. Let's do
Okay.
that.
Vortex warp. Okay. So go ahead and mark the spell off. You focus to try to enact this ability of yours. I'm trying to remember how you've done it in the past. If it's like a chemical thing or I'm trying to remember. But
This one is, it's just a. I think it's like a hole in space that just opens up and Pip sort of falls into and then reappears at different. Yeah.
You try to cast the spell, and it is immediately just fizzles out and is unable to engage. And with that is Calliope, are you doing anything? As they're now very fast approaching.
Yeah.
At this point, Valor and Yonder have pulled up in the two vehicles on either side of Pip and you. Kadam, you are trying to catch up, but they are starting to get out in front. I just want to know what people are going to do as these vehicles come rushing in.
Calliope is going to mount up Sir Dummy
Okay.
and stand in front of Pip and like have the two war machines kind of like flanking us.
Okay.
It's like, well,
Okay.
Humble.
We're gonna end tonight
See-
here as. Oh, what was that, Kadam?
I was gonna say, seeing Calliope do that, Kadam just starts grinning. And I'm gonna pull out the sword,
Mm-hmm.
hold it up, and use my bonus action to have it shed holy light.
Okay.
So for 15 feet, it is giving off bright light, and for another 15, not bright light, dim light.
Uh-huh.
Fiends find the light disconcerting and painful, even if they cannot see it.
And is it only within the
I think it's
range?
only within the range, but I'm like
Yeah.
trying to make myself see.
Okay, so
Is Pip in that
sword
range?
comes out. No. The
Okay.
Kadam.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to figure out distances here when we start next session. But you pull the sword out, and the light starts to illuminate. I imagine you maybe even start to pull up a little bit above the deck, as it were, as you start to pull up, and the light illuminating the vehicles charging in front of you, dust billowing around you. The dust seems to just sort of like part around you as you pull the sword out and illuminate the light. But these vehicles, I think you catch the figure at the back of the main big vehicle that's operating this like crane device spot you and sort of turn and like smack the side of the vehicle, and you see the other figures starting to look in the direction of you, and you see a hatch sort of slide open where the cockpit is, as the motorcycle vehicles are kind of pulling. They're much further out front, going directly towards your companion. So just this big main vehicle is noticing this, and you see popping out hair whipping in the wind, wearing now full plate armor, emblazoned with Zariel's symbol. Gideon's stark features turn to look at you, face cold like steel, looking in your direction, just hair billowing, dust billowing around, and seeing you there with the sword glowing as you fly up above. The rest of you see these 3 motorcycles barreling in towards you. And you see the little glowing light of Gadam rising up above them all, wings outstretched. And that's where we are going to end tonight's session. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening.
I can make my weapon glow. I've been able to do that since like level 3. It's just not infused right
hair.
now, right? My last lance broke. I can't do it with this one, but I swear.
All right, awesome. We'll see you all next week to see what happens. Thank you for joining us. Man, I was going to give a little bit of an update for myself personally to the channel, just in terms of I've been having a lot of big life things going on, and partially why we had to take a break last week. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I can talk a little bit about it briefly, but I am currently in between jobs. I'm not certain what's happening next, but I'm figuring things out, and I'm looking forward to spending more time with the stream and with things that I care about. So I'm excited for that. But that's why I had to take a break last week, because I was trying to get everything sorted after that
We're
big
all
life
very
decision.
proud of Nathan.
We are. We're all extremely proud of Nathan.
Thank you. But if you enjoy watching us and you enjoy this channel and what we do, please follow and do all the things. You can find us on YouTube, go to our Discord, all that stuff.
We have a Discord.
We have a Discord. I'm sure there's even more things that I could say that could help, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next few weeks here as I acclimate to this new life of mine. But yeah, thank you, everybody. Oh, were we supposed to have a command that does !Discord, or is that just?
Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, we should set that up. That would be a good thing to have.
It would.
Anyways, thank you, everybody. We will see you all next week, and we'll see what happens with Pip.
We will.
Bye.
Also, thank you, ArcF2.
Good night.
Good night.